Hello. A passion of mine I haven't really talked about on here is, solving mysteries. Getting justice for victims, putting horrible criminals behind bars, getting justice. Unfortunately, though, I can't do that in real life because there's an element of danger there. So I like to do that through gaming, typically through video games. Like if there's a new video game coming out about a detective, I'm like there automatically. Even if it's not that good, like those Frogware Sherlock Holmes games, there's some of those things that are pretty rough, but I still love them. But recently I have discovered these boxed mysteries by this company Hunt a Killer. Now, Hunt a Killer, they used to be like a subscription box, and they would have like a season-long mystery. And throughout the year, they would send you these boxes, and they would all have clues to this like larger ongoing mystery. Unfortunately, I came into this late. I didn't get to experience any mysteries that way, which is a shame. And I do hope that they have these sets, these like season-long sets on their website, but they're all sold out currently. So I'm hoping that eventually those will get restocked. I'll be able to experience one of those more long form mysteries. But these are wonderful. I love them. And these are smaller mysteries. They'll take about 2-3 hours to solve. And I thought it might be nice to go through them, rank them, talk about what I liked, what I didn't like with each of them, and talk about why you might want to consider playing them if you're also into justice. And I will say, this is not sponsored, obviously, but if you hunt a killer, like if you want to, I'm here. I'm ready. You know, I know it's enticing for you. I have 28 whole subscribers. By the time you see this, I might have 30. We'll see. But I bring a lot of exposure to your brand. Those 28 people, they can make a big difference. So think about it. Think about it. I don't need an answer right away. But we'll start with Homicide at the Heist. And I will say this is my least favorite only because something has to be. These are all very close in terms of quality. Now, when you open these up, you're going to get this little booklet, and this is going to contain, some hints and stuff for getting started. It's also going to contain there's a URL for every one of these mysteries, a separate website for every mystery. And those websites will sometimes contain case specific information that you can't get in the box, but they will also always contain both hints and solutions. So you can flat out look up the solution to something if you're having trouble cracking a certain code or something like that. But what's nice is you can just also get little hints that'll just point you in the right direction if you still want to figure things out yourself, which I appreciate. And then one thing that's nice about these boxes is that you'll get, certain items that have real world applications that are like nice quality. And part of the reason this one comes in fifth is because, it doesn't have a lot of stuff you're going to want to, use going forward. And that is part of the value prospect here because it does offset some of the cost. Because you can really only play these things once, whether you play them by yourself or with other people, the mystery is not going to change. So it's nice to have, stuff you can use in there that maybe you wouldn't have bought, but is worth actual money. I mean, in this case, you have stuff like this, which is great for immersion, like an auction paddle, a fake auction guide. But that's not stuff you're going to use in the real world. But like for example, they have this like a tiny little bracelet, which I think is for like a tiny little child, or at least for a man who doesn't have giant hands. I mean, it's not really my aesthetic anyway, but this might be your jam, and if it is, it's in here. And you can use it as a bracelet if you want to. And then each of these comes with a locked, it's usually a tin like this, so there is an exception that I'll get to. But these are just really nice, high quality metal tins. And once you're done with the case, you can use them for whatever you want. They're very well done, and they each come with this padlock that you have to crack the code, figure out how to get into them. But once you're done, you got a tin, you got a padlock. You can do whatever you want with them, within reason. And the thing with this case, right, is it's kind of like a Reservoir Dogs type deal where, it's these bunch of people who are pulling off a heist. Each of them has code names. None of them know each other. They're all like strangers, and one of them gets killed during the heist. Like they open up the vault, and there's this diamond missing, which is what they were trying to steal. And there's also this guy dead there in the vault, one of the people doing the heist. So you got to figure out, who killed him during the heist, when, why. And it's fun because, you got to go through communications and kind of figure out which of your suspects corresponds to which code name and work out the logistics. There was a puzzle in here that drove me insane because I was trying to get all fancy with it, and the way to solve it was like incredibly, like hilariously literal, like so literal I couldn't see it. So that made me, hate myself. But that's not the game's fault. All right, then we got R.I.P. at the Rodeo. So this one is about a rodeo clown that gets gored by a bull, and obviously it gets chalked up to being an accident because that happens, at bull shows from time to time. People get hurt, but there is some suspicion that maybe this guy was set up to die somehow, that he was murdered and it was made to look like an accident. So this one has that online component where you can go and like crack passwords and find all kinds of files and images that'll help aid you in solving the case. And what's nice, you get some nice stuff in here. You get a framed picture of a rodeo clown, which I know is something you've always wanted. But what's nice is, you can remove the photograph and then you just have an empty frame that you can fill with a photograph of a rodeo clown who means more to you personally, potentially. And you get all kinds of fun stuff like a program for a fake rodeo, which is very, very detailed. The attention to detail in all of these is just wonderful. And I so wish that we got like a full pad of paper with this little guy on there. Like, I want this stationery. Where do I get it? Help me. But yeah, you get another nice little tin in here, which is appreciated. But best of all, you get a real, like, genuine bolo tie. You also get this little fake little piece of plastic jewelry, but this is like a high quality metal bolo tie with a kangaroo on it. I don't know how to tie a bolo tie, but maybe I'll learn. Maybe I'll like bust this out the next time I go to a wedding or something. It's nice to have. I never thought I would own an authentic, nice quality kangaroo bolo tie, and now that I have it, I like that I have it. Sometimes you don't know what you need until you get it. And then we got Body on the Boardwalk. So this was my first one. This got me hooked. And once again, there's just wonderful attention to detail in here. There's like newspaper clippings that look like they came out of an actual newspaper. There's like there's a map in here somewhere that it like looks like an actual map. It's like super detailed. In terms of stuff you can keep and use, there's a bloody popcorn bag. It's the bloody popcorn bag of 1,000 uses. So really the only limits there are your imagination. And like this, with the attention to detail, like this is an actual photograph that they had to like develop and shit and then put in here. And maybe that's not impressive to you, but yeah, I appreciate it. You get this little keychain for Darlene's. If you love Darlene's, which doesn't exist, maybe your name is Darlene, or there's a Darlene that's special to you, and in which case you may enjoy having this little keychain. And then you get a tin in here, which is noticeably bigger than the other tins. So that's nice. And I will spoil one thing that's in here. I'm trying to go very light on spoilers because I don't want to mess up the experience of playing these things for anybody. But I will say in here, if you've ever been to the Cracker Barrel, And there's like that little pyramid thing on the table that has like the little pegs, and you're trying to jump the pegs over the other pegs and stuff and get rid of as many pegs as you can. That's in here. There's like a board in here, and like it comes with the pegs, and you use it for code breaking purposes, and that's all I'll say. But when I'm done, you can just use it like a regular one of those Cracker Barrel games if you've ever wanted one of those. Oh, and the mystery for that one is just basically this woman who worked on the boardwalk is found killed, and then there's all this kind of seedy stuff going on behind the scenes. Like there's this element of kind of organized crime in the area and all of this. So you got a lot of suspects, a lot of potential motives. It's an interesting case. I really have to sneeze. Oh God, I'm trying not to. That's the worst when your body can't make up its mind whether it's going to sneeze or not sneeze, and you're in like that limbo. Oh, I hate it. All right, it'll pass. And then my second favorite, we got Murder at the Motel. And let's see what's in here. This one is really fun because you get like super detailed documents like this. You get like a list of all the key cards that were used at the hotel, when they were used, and you get tons of information like that. You get, receipts from people who have signed into the hotel. You get, a catalog of when certain rooms, there was like maintenance on certain rooms and stuff. And you have to use all of this information to kind of assemble a map of the hotel and figure out, who's in what room. Because once you figure out who's in what room, you can figure out which card belongs to which person, and you can start making all these fun deductions. So I found that process really enjoyable. And once again, there's some really high quality stuff in here, like this poster for this fake album listening party. Once again, really realistic looking fake, newspaper clippings and a little do not disturb thing, which most of us don't have at home. It's nice to have. And there's all kinds of stuff like that, more photographs that they had to print out, you have the photograph machine, and you got a fake hotel key card, which is fun. You get a little turtle, which I like this. I might have bought that if I saw it in the store. It's a nice turtle. I like turtles. But yeah, then you also get a tin in this one, of course, which is lovely. This is one of my favorite tins. I really like that shade of kind of forest green on there. Oh, and the turtle also comes in this little bag. So you can put whatever you want in this little bag. It's like a drawstring bag. That's nice. And yeah, overall, so this one is just, kind of what you'd expect. Somebody at this hotel was murdered at a certain time in a certain room, and you got to figure out who has an alibi, who doesn't, whose movements are suspicious, and whose are not, and kind of, draw your own conclusions. And this one was like pretty open and shut for me. Once I got the tin open, there's usually, information in the tin that, will kind of blow the case wide open. And in this case, the second I saw the tin, I was just like, well, that's the solution. I don't really need to figure anything out. But, it was still really fun getting to that point and, figuring out where everybody fit into the grand scheme of things. And my favorite currently, and this one I played last night, so this might partially be recency bias, is Dead Below Deck. Dead Below Deck. So this one is about a woman who is, working on a boat. She's a stewardess, I believe, and she ends up getting killed in the middle of the night. And once again, it's like a case of, was this intentional? Was it accidental? She's found in a sauna in the morning, dead. And so you have to figure out, why was she there? Was this an intentional act? And who has a motive for doing it? And it's a really fun and interesting case. And what really struck me about this one was the production value. Like, you log in online in this one, And not only do you get like clues online and like tons of documents, but you also get full motion videos of all of the suspects talking. Like they hired actual actors to play these people, and the acting is good. It's like really solid acting for the most part. They did a nice job, and it's stuff like I just really appreciate. Look at the attention to detail in here. You get this lovely map, you get a brochure, you get multiple brochures, you get a whole freaking flag, you get a flag in here, you get a fake ticket, you got like fake ship stationery. Like the attention to detail is just so nice. You also, in this one, you get a bracelet that can actually fit on my wrist. And not that I'm, gonna wear it or anything very often, but it has a little shell on there, so that's nice. And then you get this lovely tin, and this one especially, like once you get this tin open, this tin had more stuff than any of the other tins. Like there's tons of stuff in here, tons of stuff to dig through, and lots of codes in this one to figure out. So that one, I found them all very immersive and very well done, but this is the one that just got to me the most because, there's so much stuff to discover, so many codes to decode, and, there's just a fun element of, just figuring out where everybody is at different times and whatnot, and figuring out what they're saying on the radio and their communications, and, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun deduction experience. So anyway, those are the ones I've played so far. There are more than those. If this becomes a hugely successful viral video and gets millions and millions of views, I will be sure to continue to review more of these. And as I said before, Hunt a Killer. I am available. Me and my 28 subscribers are available. If you would like to, sponsor my channel. Just a thought, we can get rich together. It's not a big deal. So anyway, that's it. Enjoy deducing.